Hi, thank you for joining today's session. In today's session, I will show you how to add a function button on a Beas screen with the B1 usability extension for Beas. The B1 usability extension for Beas is part of the B1 usability package from Boyum IT. So in this session, we're going to create a button and we're going to link a universal function going out to a website to look something up for us. Okay, if I go to SAP Business One, I go to Inventory, I'm going to the item report, and I'm going to open up an item. So let's say you're working in the item master and you really would like to Google the item name on the website, so you don't have to copy and paste and open up another screen. You want it to do it automatically. So how can you do that? You can do this by creating a button. So if you right click here and you go to the third icon, this is the Beas usability extension icon. And I'm going to click Add Function Button. If you know the usability package, it's very similar to it. Right here, I'm just call it web. My button is, I call it web. I'm going to leave it on the right. You have the options to put the button on the bottom or on top, or even as a right click menu, but I'm going to leave it to the right. Here you can decide who should see this button, which user. This is very, very nice because you can create a set of buttons for certain users or user groups, and then for other users, they maybe need different shortcut buttons. Okay, so I'm going to leave everything as it is. I right click, I just call the button, and now I have to tell it what I want it to do. Okay, so I have to attach a function. I have all those functions already here. Okay, there's many functions, but let's create a new one. I'm going to click new, and I'm doing it on the fly straight from here. And I'm going to choose external launcher because I want it to go, I want the button, once I click on the button, I want it to go outside to the web and I want it to Google the name of the item. So it's an external launcher. You can have a SQL report, a script, or a message, or external launcher. Those are your options for the Beas universal functions. So I'm going to click on external launcher and I'm going to call it external launcher web _1 because I already have one. And then you just choose which program you would like to use. The ones you see here on the drop down, those are the most common ones, so we put it in there for you. So I'm going to use Google Chrome. Okay, and now I have to put in my web address. Okay, so what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you. I'm going out here and I'm going to go ahead and search for something really quick. So I like to use Google. I'm going to use Google, and then I'm going to search for Boyum IT, for example. Okay, so there is Google searching for Boyum IT. So all I'm doing is really, I'll take this search address to the equal sign. I'm going to copy this because here it starts with Boyum IT. That's when the search starts. And I'm going back to my universal function and I just copy this in here. And all I have to do is tell now my universal function, what do I want to search? So I'm going to minimize my window in the back. Actually, let me do this. And I'm pulling up my item master. So here you can say, okay, what is this window? What is this field called? So you can click Control-Shift-I. That opens up the debug window, and you see right here, and here is the field name. Another way you can do it, and it's probably best to do it before you start with your universal function to see which field you are going to use. You can go in here, for example, extensions for client, And here's my data window for the master data. And if you scroll down here towards the middle, you see right here item name. And you can find out like that. And this one is actually good because this one also puts the value right here, where the value is equal to. And this is exactly what we want to do. We need that value because we want it to pull the value. So I'm just going to copy this actually. Copy it from here. I go back to my little external launcher, universal function, and I'm going to put in my field name with my beginning and end characters for Beas. So what we are going to do now is we're going to click OK. And we're going to, there's web 1, and we're going to transfer this over to our button right here. Okay, if you can drill back here to make sure you have the correct one attached. And we leave everything as it is. And what's really neat now is if you look, there's the item master in the back, and I'm going to click refresh window, and you will see that the button will be created right in front of your eyes. Here it is. Okay, so I have bike right here, so if I click on the web button, it should go ahead and Google bike for me. And there it is. It did it. Okay, so let's go to a different item. I'm just going to go to the next entry. And the next entry is bike pedals. So it should search for bike pedals. And if I click on the web, Google should come up and it should search bike pedals. And here they are. So this is really nice for a user. Create a shortcut button. Tell the system what to look for. Of course, instead of the item name, you could do the item code, absolutely. Or use a different web browser and so on, as you saw. But this was really to show you how simple it is to create a button, link an external launcher, and go out on the web and look an item up in a very simple way, so you don't have to copy paste in the web browser. This was it for our session. Thank you so much for joining.